Hello, my loves. Welcome back, or if you're new, hey. So today I'm gonna be giving you guys some tips on how to be an academic weapon this semester or this year, and how to succeed in your studies and your academics. So let's go inside because it's cold. I'm just inside doing a 1,000-piece puzzle at the moment, but let's get into these tips. And I just want to put out a disclaimer. I've been in this game for about 3.5 years now. I'm actually about to graduate, so I'm gonna just share these tips with you guys because they help me. If it doesn't work for you, like, that's cool, you know? But I'm sharing them with you because they have helped me to get to where I am at this point, about to graduate. And I just want to say that looking back retrospectively, I wish I had these tips going into college. So I am here to do that service for all of you guys. I'm gonna give you 5 main tips and then 5 ways to incorporate each one into your daily schedule. So there's gonna be 25 total tips for the year 2025, you know. Got to. So tip number 1 is to study smarter, not harder. And here's 5 ways that you can do that. 1, you want to use active recall. Active recall is when you are actively testing yourself as you're studying on the topic that you're studying. So as you finish a page of notes or a chapter, you go back through and you do a quick little quiz just to actively recall what you just learned. 2, you want to make a study schedule. So you want to have like a planner of some sort, or some kind of schedule, a to-do list, a workbook, whatever works for you. Do something. You want to make sure that you have your deadlines and your chapter notes and when you want to do certain things written down on paper so you can commit to it. 3 is to use some type of study technique. So you can research these. The one I like to use is the Pomodoro technique. So it's when you study for 25 minutes and then you take a 5-minute break so you can get your 30-minute increments, like blocks. And then you can also schedule that way and use your planner from tip number 2. I like to use that technique because it helps me stay focused, not get distracted, and not take so many breaks. Number 4, use flashcards. Flashcards, flashcards, flashcards. Quizlet, handwritten. Tell ChatGPT to make you some, tell Google Gemini to make you some, tell Notebook LM to make you some. Like any of these AI machines, take your notes and make flashcards, okay? Please, 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 please. That helps you do active recall so much better and consistently. Number 5, teach the material. For me, I'm not so much an auditory learner, I'm more of a visual learner. So I have to read this stuff. Like I have to sit down, look at it, hold it, understand it, take it in on my own. But to know that I have taken it in enough and that I have gotten an understanding, sometimes I need to just teach it to someone else, or even just speak out loud and see if what I'm saying makes sense. You know, sit there and talk to this person about it for about 15-20 minutes, give or take, and then give them your flashcards and have them quiz you and see how you do. Tip number 2 is to manage your time. Manage your time very well because time is of the essence, okay? It's not free. Time is the most valuable thing that you will ever own in life. Make a to-do list. Like I said, I told you this in tip number 1 about having a study schedule, when you want to study, what you want to study, and how you're going to do it. Have a to-do list or a planner of some sort with your classes, your class time, test dates that are coming up, review sessions if you have those, deadlines like assignments, when things are due, all that stuff. At the beginning of this year, I did a school planner and I did a content planner, and I just combined it all together and meshed it into one big schedule, basically. Don't procrastinate. If anything, start early. Be proactive, okay? Instead of trying to fix what's already been messed up. Have your stuff ready before you even go to class. Make sure you're reviewing before class, you're going through your notes before class. All of this because when you go to lecture, your professors or your teachers, they are going to teach it how they have taken it in. So if you haven't really touched the material or looked at it, you're not going to have a complete understanding based on what you need just by the professor talking at you for an hour and 15 or 2 hours. Set goals for yourself daily because you want to have something that you can work towards consistently every single day. And sometimes growth looks kind of stagnant when you're in the middle parts of it, when you've kind of gotten where you want to be and then you're not sure what to do next. Things can get stagnant. So set goals for yourself daily, especially if you're in college or undergrad and you plan to go to further education, which is more years in school. You want to avoid burnout. So make sure you set your daily goals so you feel achieved, so you feel accomplished, you are knocking something out. Usually I stick to about 3 to 5 a day, give or take, and that's just spread out between the classes that I have. So give yourself just a small, like a limit based on how productive you feel you can be during the day, and get your stuff done. And then number 5 is going to be to eliminate distractions. So make sure that you have absolutely nothing distracting you when you're studying, when you're dedicating your time to schoolwork and academics. You want to make sure that everything else is clear and put away. Like, you want no distractions, nothing that's going to pull your attention away, like a phone. I put my phone on D&D, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I have a specific mode that is set for when I want to be left alone and I'm trying to study. So have that. Be smart about where you choose to study as well. So sometimes people are good at studying in public settings where there's lots of goings on and there's lots of people and talking and movement and sound, but sometimes there's a few of us that are more productive in a silent or a quiet environment, alone preferably, not necessarily in a large group maybe perhaps, but you could have like a study partner or a study buddy. Try to prioritize studying and setting yourself up in an environment where you will not have as many distractions. Tip number 3, when you go to class, don't just go to class just to go to class. Go to class and actually participate in class. Here's 5 ways you can do that. 1, always attend. Just go. Because 1, I find that I'm more productive and I'm more zoned into the classroom curriculum when I just go to class. Number 2, sit in the front or in the middle or somewhere close to the board where you can see. Don't be hiding from the professor. You paid to be here. There's no reason you gotta go all the way to the back of the room, sit all the way in the back of the classroom and hide from the professor when you paid to come here and have these professors teach you. Sit in the front or the middle or whatever's comfortable-ish around that range for you, but you want to have the professor's attention. And I have glasses, so I can't see. Number 3, ask questions. You want to actively engage with your classmates and your professors as well. You never know which peers you might actually have needed the answer to that question and might have been too scared to ask, so just ask. If you have permission to record them like audio wise. A lot of my professors do not allow us to record in class, so you just can't write fast enough and you need notes that you're gonna write down later. Definitely do some type of audio transcription or some audio recording. Sometimes I use speech to text on my iPad or on my laptop and literally just sit there and I can type in supplementary words that I pick up and that I catch out, but majority of my speech to text is doing the work for me while they're talking. But usually I don't have professors that really talk that much. They more so give us slides and just let us look at it. So if it works for you, it works for you. Number 5, you want to go to office hours. When your professors mention office hours, they're not just telling you guys that for no reason. Come to them, clarify things. If you have questions, if you feel like it can't be explained well over an email and you need a visual, go to office hours. Just go. Most times they're before or after your class period or your class time. So just try to put in that extra effort to either get there early or stay late and talk to your professor, have a one-on-one, especially right before a quiz or a test that you might be really anxious or worried about. Those usually really help me. Going to office hours and having my professor review with me what I've already reviewed and clear things up definitely helps. Tip number 4, be organized. And here's 5 ways you can do that. 1, you can use color coding in your notes. I like to stick to a couple colors of highlighters for each class, but that helps me to stay organized. It helps me to know what I'm looking at as soon as I pick up my notebook. As soon as I open up my notes, I know exactly which class this is and what chapter and where we are at. If you guys want a different video on how I organize my notes and how I do my planners and stuff, comment down below and I would be happy to give you guys that. Number 2, you want to keep your digital files labeled and stored away somewhere that's reliable. So I like to use Google Drive or on my iPad storage, which would be iCloud storage, and that works really well for me. I just make sure that all my files, my notes, have the class name, the chapter, so I know exactly what I'm opening up and I know exactly what I'm looking at. Diagrams or color-coded sketches where I've labeled, for example, anatomy and stuff like that, you want to have those labeled as well for anatomy of the brain or anatomy of the heart or anatomy of whatever it is that you've labeled, especially if you're like me and you have a cluttered digital footprint. Number 3, review and rewrite your notes weekly or at least bi-week for every test or quiz. You want to go over your notes. This is a part of active recall as well. This is just a different way to do it. I like to rewrite my lecture notes, especially if I've taken them during lecture and I'm kind of scribbling. I like to go back and just clean those up. That's part of where the color coding comes into play, where the vocab comes into play. I get to like section out everything that I've taken from this class period and put it into smaller chunks to where I'm able to better take it in and better remember it. Number 4 is create study guides. So I like to use Google Gemini as well as Notebook LM to upload my notes in PDF form, and then I have that convert my notes to a study guide for me. Or if it's a shorter class period, I usually, if I have time at the end, will just make my own study guide based off of what was on the slides, and that helps me remember as well, to also incorporate the active recall in my study techniques. Lastly, you want to make sure that you keep a copy of your syllabus. Keeping a copy of your syllabus keeps everything organized. You have a hard copy of your class layout most likely, because most professors will put their prospective curriculum and schedule on their syllabus as well somewhere at the end. So if you have a hard copy of your syllabus, you literally have all this information right here in front of you. You can put it in a folder, put it in a binder, put it in something that you can just quickly refer to when you need to. It's going to have your professor's email, their office hours, their location, where your class is supposed to be meeting and what time. It's going to have invaluable information about your textbooks, stuff that you're going to need throughout the semester that you're going to constantly have to be referring back to. So you want to have a hard copy of those. And finally, we are at the end now. Tip number 5, prioritize yourself over all of this. Okay, now I know you're in school and it's important and you're studying and you want to be great and you want to really be successful and you want to do something with your life, but you got to take care of you. At the end of the day, you will not be able to accomplish these great things and these great tasks and put your mind to work like this if your mind is not at top-notch performance capabilities. Like, you need to be taking care of your body. Sleep well, you want to stay active, you want to eat foods that's good for your body and your brain, you want to keep a positive attitude, and you want to reward yourself after every single thing that you do. You know, between 7 to 9 hours, they say 8 hours is the best average. Make sure that when you wake up in the morning you feel rested and you don't wake up still tired. You shouldn't be trying to pull all-nighters. Like, cut that, because one, all-nighters is not going to get you the academic success that you think it will. It's only going to overload your brain at a time when your brain is most vulnerable and make you blank when you get there. I'm telling you guys from experience. So just being on campus, a lot of the time I walk around a lot, just like doing small activities and cardio. You don't have to be like a fitness guru or a gym rat. You could just literally go and do a little bit of meditative yoga or some type of stretch, some type of maybe cardio, do a jog if you like to jog, or if your school offers like fitness classes and stuff, maybe take one. Really good just to boost your mental and get your morale up. When I say eat foods that's good for your body and your brain, I mean like you want to have vegetables, you want to have fruits, you want to have some kind of protein consistently throughout the day, feeding your body, feeding your mind as you are taking in this information and using up energy to learn. Positivity literally is a mindset. Like, mindset is everything in college. If you start to feel like you are dragging and you're getting down and bogged down, you literally will be overwhelmed. Like, you literally will get overwhelmed. So mindset is everything. You want to stay positive. If you know you came here to succeed, then you're going to continue to tell yourself in your head, I am successful, I am an academic weapon. You have to keep that mindset, and you have to keep that in your head in first priority. Like, this is what I came here to do, this is what I will accomplish. For all of my Christian girls, keep God first. Celebrate your small wins. You got a high B on your test and you studied for that for a long time. You used a new technique and you set up your study schedule and your planner. You did all these things, you did your flashcards, and you got a higher grade than what you usually did. Reward yourself. Get an ice cream or something. Incorporate that positive reinforcement into these behaviors and these type of habits and routines so that you can continue them without it being a strain on you. And that's literally it. Like, that's all I got for y'all, I'm not gonna lie. These tips is what works for me. I wrote them down so I could tell you guys about them and transfer them to you in hopes that they will help you guys have a better semester or a better academic year in general. This is just all about consistency and discipline. So I am going to send you guys off with those 25 tips, and I hope that the 2025-2026 school year is better for you all and everybody reaches the success that they hopefully came here to achieve. See you guys in my next video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys have any tips that you want to share in my comment section, feel free. It's a public comment section down below. Let me know how these tips work for you. If you have any suggestions, anything you want to add to this video, do it down below.